So this is going to be my second video that I release, but it's going to be the first one I record because I wanted to make this one first. Bear with me, probably gonna get emotional, but yeah. So I wanted to talk about my last night on Earth with my brother Chris, or as most of you would know him, Zuna. Funny enough, I can't remember the day at all. I don't remember it. Like, I don't remember anything we did that day. I think it was just a normal day. Like, we would, just doing work and errands and, just playing video games and eating and just doing what we normally did on a normal day. There wasn't anything. The heart, I don't know if it's easier or hard. I'm assuming it's easier, but he passed out of the blue from he passed out of the blue, and like it wasn't expected. He wasn't sick or anything. He it was very unexpected. He had no clue. We had no clue it was coming. It was out of the blue. Chris was Chris was in the best health. He was in the best shape and best health he'd been in his entire adult life. But I'm getting off track. I just want to talk about the last night that we spent together. So we, let's see, I had about 9 or 10 days before I had just hit ARAM God on my account because I had taken up playing League again in back in November. So and I wasn't playing like super hardcore, but I was playing a lot of games, and ARAM was something that I was able to do. I'm getting off topic again, but ARAM was something that I was able to do with my real life friends and with Chris. So it was very important to me, and I hadn't because I had been building a business since 2018. I hadn't gamed at all. That was the first 2023 in November. That was the first time that I started gaming again, like regularly. And I thank God that he, for whatever, like God just made me start playing again. And so Chris helped me. I think about 10 days before he passed, he helped me finish ARAM God. We actually finished it a lot earlier. I thought it was going to take a couple more things to do, but he helped me get ARAM God, and it was weird because it was just like some stupid title, but for some reason it was a goal to hit because it was just something to do. And now I realize like God gave me these that last like 7 months of gaming with him because I hadn't gamed with Chris, and gaming had been our entire lives, and I hadn't gamed with him since like probably since like 2017, 2018. So like to get like that last 7.5 months of gaming with him meant the world to me. Um, so back to I keep on getting off track, but it's such a happy memory. I feel so weird. I'm gonna get into in other videos. I'm gonna get into the like. I'm sure this will what I'm saying now might seem a little weird because this is the second video I'm gonna put out. But I'm sure in the first video I'm gonna explain who we are and what I'm even making these videos for. But so to get into our final night, I'll just start by saying it was literally it was a perfect night together. It was literally a perfect night. There's just so many things that have happened that happened for a certain reason, and it's just there's no way any of this stuff would have happened without God. So I'm just so grateful that He gave me these. This, I'm so grateful that He gave me this time with my brother. And so that night, we I asked Chris. I was like, it's been about over a little bit over a week. I'm gonna start playing. I'm gonna start playing some ARAMs again. I had no I had no will to play ARAMs after I hit like the ARAM god because I was like, what am I even playing for? There's no point. And Chris didn't really play much. Chris honestly only played ARAM because I asked him to play with me. He never played like on his own or anything like that. It wasn't a game he enjoyed playing by himself. So he only played it for me because he knew it made me happy. And so he said, "Yeah, sure, let's get some games." And we played 5 games. In in 4 of the 5 games, he let me play AD carry because I was wanting to try out some new builds because there was a new patch, and he played tank for me in like 4 of the 5 games, and it just it's just like all these things happen for a reason. It's just that's who he was, man. He let you like he would let me he wanted just to make sure that I was having as much fun as possible because he was doing it for me. And that's how our relationship was. We knew how to make each other happy. But anyway, we played 5 games. We were an extreme losers queue. We only won one of the games out of the 5. And we were in extreme losers queue, so we're like, let's just take a break. Let's just stop right now because we knew when to stop because it was just you're just gonna keep losing. And funny enough, Chris's last game that he played was on Shen, and that'll be the last game of League he ever played on Earth. And he was known as back when he played, he was known as the best Shen player. Like I'm talking way back in the day when he was still a top laner. He was known as the best. He was known as the best Shen player. Like he was really known for when he used to play top lane. He was the Shen and the Rumble back in the day before he switched to AD carry. So I think that was on purpose too, you know. And so after that, I think a day or two before I had just bought in groceries for us at Costco. We love Costco. I'm sure I'll get into that in other videos, but we had some prime. I had some prime ribeyes, and Chris grilled them up for us. He was amazing at grilling. He was always good at grilling, but we a couple years ago during the pandemic we started running a meal prep business for about half a year, and that's when he just became very very good at that. He became professional, like professional level at grilling because he was grilling so much meat, you know. And he grilled us 2 ribeyes, and he said what he every time that he would grill steak, he would say, "I still got it." Whenever he'd cut it open, and it'd be like a perfect medium rare. And I'd say 99 out of 100 times he cooked it perfectly. That's how good he was. And it hurts just thinking about not being able to not being able to ever not being able to ever not being able to ever eat anything he cooks again, you know. He was like he was the only person that cooked for me in my life besides myself, you know. So I just I'll never forget the taste of the steaks that he made me. Like he had been making me for years, you know. Like but anyway, back to our last night together. I'm gonna just get off track because I'm just raw dogging these videos. I'm not gonna edit them. I don't care enough to edit them. I'm just gonna make them raw. But yeah, so we played ARAM, played 5 games. And then he cooked us our steak, and we always like to watch something while we ate. So we watched an episode of that time I was reincarnated as a slime. Um, me and Chris both love manga and anime. Always have. So yeah, so we watched that, and then after that it was already about 2 a.m. and it was around 2 a.m. and I did I did what I do I did what I did every night. I went into his room. I told him what we were gonna do in the morning. The next morning we were gonna run some errands, like pick up some. We were going to pick up some of my prescriptions at Albertsons and pick up his pick up his testosterone at CVS. That was what we were gonna do when I woke up when we both woke up in the morning uh, the next day, and just regular day, regular errands, nothing nothing out of the blue, you know. Uh, like I said, this is what I did every night for as long as I can remember. I went to him and I hugged him. I hugged him from behind where he sits on his chair. I have his chair over here in my room, and I told him I love him. Depending on what he was doing, he would either go like this, or he'd be too into his game and be like, "Yeah, yeah, I love you too," and he just. But I'm so happy that I did that every night because, and I don't believe in goodbyes because it's only a matter of time until we're in heaven together, and I'm gonna live my life and do everything in my power to make it to heaven with him, because that's my purpose now. That's that's all that I care about is being with him in heaven. But yeah, that was the last time that was the last time we talked when he was still alive, and I'm glad. It was beautiful. It was a perfect night. It was a perfect night, and one thing that I want to say about that night, as perfect as that night was, we that was a regular day for us. That's how that's how we lived our lives. We had we had shit figured out. We had life figured out. It was we had that was the regular for us. A perfect night. It was the regular for us. That was just something we did all the time. Hundreds, probably thousands of times. I've had an evening like that with him. And now it's just I'm just honestly just counting the days until, and I don't know if the right word is existing, but I'm doing my best to I'm doing my best for the people that still love me in this world. There's a very small amount of people that love and care about me, and I know that God wants me here still. I haven't found out why, but I know God still wants me here, and my other brothers need me here. My best friends who are my family need me here, and my little nephews and my niece need me here. So yeah, that was our last night together. I found him gone I'm not going to get into it, but I found him gone the next morning. He passed away. He passed away peacefully. It was fast and painless, is what we heard. So he pretty much went to sleep, and he woke up in heaven. So I don't think that's when I go. That's how I want to go. But I'm glad I didn't break down, and maybe that's why it's been. Right now it is June, July, August. It's August 6th. So it's been almost 2.5 months since, and like I said, this is going to be the second video I put out, so the first one will probably be made at a later date, even though you're seeing it first. But it's been 2.5 months since he passed. It's been the hardest. It's the worst thing. Like, I think your whole life you always think about what's the worst thing that could happen to me. What's, like, everyone thinks that, and everyone has something that's the worst thing that could happen to them. And then, like, your life is going exactly how you wanted it to go, and everything you worked hard for and strived for together, everything that we invested in together. I'm not talking about investments. I'm just talking about, like, investing in life, all the time, and it's just gone. It's gone. My future with him's gone. Everything that I love, my favorite things that I love doing are gone because they were all with him. So it's the only thing getting me through this is just my faith, and knowing that it's only a finite amount of time before we're together forever, and that's all that gets me through this every day. It's the only thing. So I hope whoever's watching these videos, if it even helps one person, that's great. But at the end of the day, I'm just making these for myself to talk, just to talk. I'm sure I'm gonna explain in the first video why I even decided to make these videos in the first place. Yeah, I have a million amazing stories I could say about Chris. I also started a Twitter. It's the same tag as the YouTube channel at Kenma and Chris, and I try to write a memory there every morning when I wake up, because I wanna have as many memories as I can of my brother until I see him again. Okay, I think I'm gonna end it now before I get too emotional. And I only wanted this video to be about our last night together, and I've talked about tons of other stuff. But either way, for anyone that's going through any kind of grief, but especially losing your partner in life, whether it was a sibling, a spouse, your parent, your best friend, I hope that another human in the world who is going through the worst thing that they could possibly go through, and, like, I'm not saying I'm doing a good job at it, but I'm gonna record it. So I'm gonna record and let people know what I'm doing, what I've done, just so, like, hopefully, like I said, maybe that's what God wants me to do, is help other people going through grief. Because when I'm going to talk about this in the first video, but yeah, I love you, Chris, and see you soon in heaven, brother.